All right, well, this is, if you watch part one, now it's part two. So we are, let's see, what is it? Monday afternoon, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Monday. It's already Monday. It's crazy. Today went by fast. Went by really fast.
It did.
We started working on the Firebird today, and I was also working on the BMW, going racing again. The green Mustang actually is now it's running. It's actually running really well. I went through the tune again, fixed a couple little minor things. There's a couple things I gotta finish on that, and I'm hoping within the next week or so that's gonna go home. That would be really nice. That's been a year and a half.
Seriously?
Yeah. So so I did some more measuring. We originally were going to do 52.5 inches overall, flange to flange, but I think after centering the wheel inside the well, I'm going to give it a little more room, so I'm going to do 52 inches overall, and that's just going to move the wheel slightly in a little bit so there's no rub issue at all, and then basically it's a little bit more room because we have plenty of room to the inside. So I want to just give it a little bit more room. I don't want it too close to the quarter panel in case of tire growth and, you know, any kind of tire shake or shift or whatever, especially running a slick. You know, because street cars, slicks. So what I'm doing right now is I'm measuring based on what we did before with the distance on the new ends, which ends up being, I think, 4 5/8 on each side. So by adding that to the actual overall width and then subtracting, we end up with 21 3/8. So this is our straight line that we have to follow to cut. So we have a nice cut line. So I'm going to show you a little trick. If anybody knows, you take a piece of paper, and if you want to make a really nice straight line, basically put the paper over the tubing. Try to go as straight as possible, and you line it back up on the other side, and what it does is it actually gives you a perfectly straight edge, and then you go around and mark it, and when you take the paper away, it gives you a nice straight line. And I'm just using a basic paint marker. I learned this from the Hurricane himself, because he does all the pipe welding for a living. So when you're marking pipe to cut it and to weld it, because he does all the crazy gas mains and stuff like that, everything has to be so precise that this is one of the tricks that they do if they need to make sure that you have a straight cut all the way around the pipe. And it works pretty good. And you take that off, and then you just follow the line. So, and I'll just take the basic cutoff wheel, and I'm just going to start slicing. So wherever we slice, after we slice it, that's going to get a really nice bevel, just like the new ends are over there. They have a nice bevel on them, so that way it's a nice weld. So there's a lot of surface area for the weld. But we have to try to make that cut as square as possible. So we'll do our best. I don't have anything to put it in and cut it, so I'm just basically cutting by hand. So, but it is what it is. You take your time, you follow the line. If the line is straight and you follow the line, it should be a straight cut. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to double check all our measurements once again, just to make sure we're not messing something up. So if we had a 52-inch, I'm not doing the math on paper, I'm going to use my phone. Actually, I did the math on paper right here already. So we already measured. We know that the distance here, I think that was, yeah, 4 5/8, because it ended up being 4 1/2. And then if we add 1/8 of an inch, so let's just double check all that. Put this back down. Let's double check that. I grab my straight edge. So, just double check. Always double check. It's not hard to double check. So my flange is all the way on. And if I measure from here to there, yeah, it's 4. It's not really. Make sure that's all the way on. Double check all this. It's better to double check than it is to make a mistake and then have to go back and
mess it all up.
So we are 4 and it's almost like 4 3/4 to be honest, but it's 4 5/8, but then we have to add an 1/8, which would be 4 3/4. So if we do,
You missed it?
no, that was right, because then we came up with 4 3/4. 4, hold on, let's do the math again here. Hold on. Let's just make sure. This is why we double check, because I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to mess it up. So if we're 4 3/4, let's go like this. Get a whole new. So if that's 4 3/4, which is 4.750, that's adding a little bit for the rotor, the depth of the rotor. And if we were to add that together, times 2, because there's one on each side, that would be, this is old school right now, 9.5. What did we come up with yesterday? Oh, see now, see we're off. We came up with, oh, you know why? Because we're using a different tape measure. This tape measure is different. We're not using the same tape measure as yesterday.
Yes, we are.
No, remember we were using your automatic tape measure.
Oh, yeah.
So that one was a little different, and the end was loose. So see, this is why you gotta double check. So the end on this one I just tightened up. So we're gonna go by this one. We're gonna redo this. So
my occasional.
No, you're good. No, you didn't do anything wrong. That was just the tape measure. So if we're 9.5, so if we're 52 inches overall, and we're 9.5, we have to subtract 9.5 because we have to cut the housing to accept the new ends. So we need to we have to basically subtract the distance of the new ends and the axle off of the tube that we cut. If anybody understands that, that makes sense, because we need an overall of 52. So if we were to do 52,
so we made our mathematical.
no, we're good. So so basically what happened was, so make sure your tape measures are good tape measures. So this tape measure I started using today, the end, I tightened it up because it was like a little loose. So I just kind of hit the rivets with a hammer to tighten it. And the one we were using yesterday was the other tape measure. So if you're going to use tape measures, my advice is use the same tape measure. So we're going to use this one. So I remeasured everything and we're okay. This side was just a little off on my measurement, so I'm going to make a new line here. It ends up being 21 1/4 on each leg from the center of the pinion. And the way this tool works, your center of pinion is actually on this side of that opening. It's not here, it's right there. So that's your center line. So that's what you base everything off of. So let's take our paper. We'll do our paper trick again. We'll make a new line. We'll just change this one. paper makes the straight edge, so you don't have to get crazy. Oops. There we go. So we are cutting the inside line, not the outside line. So that's the difference. There was a difference of an 1/8 inch on this one over here. That one actually was okay. So we're good. What I'll do real quick is I'm gonna actually wipe that other line so I know, so I don't make a mistake. That would really suck. Very nice.
So satisfying. Except when your arm's in the way.
Sorry. I'm only wiping off the other line so I don't make a mistake and actually start cutting the wrong line. Perfect. So yeah, so all I'll do is just slowly cut right at the edge of that line on each side. And as you can see, I can rotate the housing, so I'm just going to cut a little at a time and just get a nice line through it, and with the 4-inch cutoff wheel. That's it. So now we cut. Let's go eat. experiencing technical difficulties, please stand by. Grab my cutters, my side cutters. Yeah, put them away. Just the short ones. This tip is no bueno. Got a little slag on there and it kind of cut itself. I never cleaned all the slag. Good. So as you can see, I have the fixture in the housing and the bushing is in the end. So all I'm doing is making sure I put a center mark right here, so I want to center the flange so that the flange is centered like this, and I'm just holding a little bit of pressure to keep it from moving. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple tacks. Does not fit. And then what I want to try to do is,
Do you want your helmet?
as long as I can take this bushing out, and it still moves freely, which it is.
Do you want your helmet?
It's just square. No, this helmet's actually way better. So as long as this bushing can still move, which it is moving, see, then it should be good. Put a couple more tacks. I'm not used to this helmet. I gotta like adjust it properly. It's like too. I don't want to mess with it too much. It's rise. So I'm gonna get this. Oh, I see why. That's gotta go down further. No, that's better. Okay. So that. So if I can move that still. And I can still move this. That means it's centered nice. I don't know what's up with my MIG welder today. Should be good. Still moves. So as long as my bushing still moves inside the flange, and my center shaft still moves freely, then we're good. So let's do a few more tacks. What is wrong with this machine today? Oops. Well, rounding itself out.
Maybe you have it on the wrong setting.
No, it's not a good. Actually, it might be too much wire speed. No, it should be good though. I'm not probably heavier on the voltage. Crank this thing up.
Do 20 volts.
Yeah, we'll try that. We really want to get it in there. So we should be good because my flange moves freely. And my pipe moves freely, so that's good. So I should be able to beat this. Hold on. Should be able to beat it because it's stacked. Oh, let me grab this. Get it off that. And now I'm just capping
With
over
your hand.
top.
Oh, I see.
Notice that? So this is just a cap, and then that's the original bead inside that bevel because both ends were beveled. So you're basically just filling it. If this were a much larger pipe and you were stick welding, you'd run stringers, and they would have a certain overlap. The Hurricane Ronnie is really good with that. That's like his forte.
Specialty.
So, but he taught me this if I'm doing anything like this. He's one of those. That's the rear differential.
So much shorter.
So technically, if you get our math right,
Looks like the diff is over a little bit. Like that's how it's shorter.
that's how it is. It's an offset thing.
That's a little longer.
It's the center of the
Here.
You get the center of the thing.
Oh. That's nice. So tomorrow we're probably gonna make a video. Probably gonna get it situated up and underneath where it's supposed to go. But
Hurricane's helmet. It's a much better helmet than mine. Everybody knows the Hurricane. You might just like that. So this should be
52 inches.
No, that would be with the axles. So if we put both axles in right now, which we should be able to put actually. Let me grab the
Yep.
So if we measure from flange to flange, I can do the math on distance of axle. I don't want to put them in yet because I tried putting that one in. They're too hot. And plus I got these axles are too long now because we shortened everything. So what I'm going to do with these is figure out what I need for lengths of axle, and I'll either have to order axles or send these back and have them cut and resplined. So I don't know what the, I don't know if it's going to be cheaper to do it that way, or I don't know. So we'll find out. So stay tuned, because we're getting this in the. So just to recap, we shortened the rear. I actually just cut the axles because I gotta have them sent out anyways either way. So I just cut them. I wanted to fit them in there, get my measurement. We need to be measured it from flange to flange, and we add the extra 1/8 of an inch. It's 52, which is perfect. So obviously this axle actually will work because it's still got plenty of spline. This one will not. So I just cut them. But either way, these are 31 spline. And I think I'm going to upgrade to a 35 spline. And I really don't have the money to finish this setup yet, so it's going to get mounted in the car, and I'll just do a sleeve here, piece of pipe, just so I can roll the car around. I'll bolt the axles in temporarily, get the rear situated with the perches, so we'll do all that next. But thanks for tuning in. I'm real happy with the way it came out. The tool that my friend Rich let me borrow is awesome for doing this. It's a homemade tool and it worked great. We measured about 400 times before I cut anything, because something like this, you really got to be careful. So the next step is to set it in the car with perches and leaf springs, get those back in, and try to get the ride height we want. We'll see how that works out. Until next time. Woohoo! Oh, what is that dance? See you later.